You finally get the promotion. The raise hits your account. You're making more money than you ever have in your life. But by the end of the month, you're staring at the same stack of bills, wondering where it all went. It happens quietly. A nicer apartment, a faster internet plan, or eating out twice a week instead of once. Your spending rises to match your new salary almost automatically, a process known as lifestyle creep. Financial mobility lives in the space between these columns, the gap. Modern marketing is designed to eliminate it. As income rises, subscriptions, data upgrades, and premium services drop onto your spending column, physically crushing the gap. When your lifestyle expands to consume every extra dollar, your net worth stays flat. You aren't building wealth. You're just becoming comfortable being broke at a higher salary level. The first major attack on the gap comes from large-scale purchases, often marketed as assets, beginning with the house poor trap. A bank might approve you for a $400,000 mortgage based on a specific loan formula, but that formula ignores the reality of property taxes, maintenance, and insurance. When the air conditioner dies or the roof leaks, those unbudgeted costs consume the remainder of your income just to keep the lights on. We see the same pattern with the car payment treadmill. Dealerships focus your attention on a lower monthly payment, which often hides the actual cost of the debt you're taking on. This graph shows how the math works against you. The steep line is your car's actual value, while the flat line is your loan balance. By rolling old debt into a new 7-year loan, you create this highlighted area, the upside down, where you owe more than the vehicle is worth. These major purchases ensure your spending column stays at its maximum limit for decades. They aren't tools for ownership, they are systemic baseline expenses that prevent the gap from ever growing. Beyond long-term loans, your income is drained by smaller, institutional math tricks, most notably the minimum payment illusion on credit cards. This pie chart shows a typical $60 minimum payment. Most of that money goes straight to interest, while only this tiny sliver touches the actual balance you owe. The bank uses compound interest to keep you paying for years without ever reducing the debt. This is compounded by the convenience tax and the brand loyalty tax. We pay extra for delivery fees to avoid a short drive, and premium prices for name brand logos that offer the same quality as the generic alternative. A few dollars for express shipping, $10 for forgotten streaming services, $20 for brand name cleaning supplies. These choices seem small in isolation, but they often pull $5,000 to $6,000 from a middle-class income every year. These repetitive costs aren't buying true comfort. They function as a continuous rent on your income, effectively bleeding the gap dry before you even see the money. Living with zero gap creates constant financial anxiety. When every dollar is spoken for, people often turn to coping mechanisms that only make the math worse. Retail therapy creates a cycle of spending to escape stress. You buy something new for a temporary hit of dopamine, but once that fades, the resulting credit card debt creates the very anxiety you were trying to escape. Others try to solve the problem with a side hustle. They drive for ride shares or freelance on weekends, but because they haven't addressed their baseline spending, the extra income is instantly consumed by the lifestyle that caused the stress in the first place. Working 60 hours a week to maintain an unsustainable level of spending is an endless loop. You're putting in more effort just to stay in the same place, grinding yourself down to fund a budget that shouldn't exist. Living paycheck to paycheck is built on the emergency-free delusion, the assumption that your car will never break, your health will never fail, and your luck will always hold. But life events are predictable over time. Without a savings cushion, a broken transmission or a medical bill becomes a high-interest debt that can take years to clear, further shrinking your gap. Perhaps the most significant cost of a missing gap is the permanent delay of your retirement. This graph compares the power of starting at age 25 versus age 40. With the exact same monthly contribution, the earlier start results in a peak over 3 times as high. Time, not just the amount of money, is the primary driver of this growth. Waiting for a higher salary or a better time to start saving costs you decades of compounding that you can never mathematically recover. The years you spend waiting are the most expensive years of your life. Earning a high salary doesn't create wealth on its own. Financial security is built by guarding the gap between what you make and what you spend.
That space is the only thing that eventually buys back your future freedom.